Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. This is episode 111 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon campaign, written by Richard Barton. We're using a heavily modified version of the old school Essentials system by Necrotic Gnome. My name is John. I'm your referee for the evening, and going around the horn tonight we have...
Hi, I'm David. I'll be playing Upior Veles, the 7th level magic user and best looking person in this party. You know, it's just I can't do the riffs like these guys. That's the best I can come up with on the fly. It really came out. It really came out without any confidence.
You just listen to the obvious truth. That's all.
Yeah. You got to believe it. You got to believe it to sell it.
I know.
Well,
listen, talk to my therapist. You know, or Upior should talk to his therapist. I should say. Anyway, sorry. What were we doing?
Let's play some games. Hi, everybody. I'm Matt. Tonight I'm playing Wolfhard Cheek, 7th level fighter, half the face, all the lover.
See, that's gusto.
Hello, everyone. Tonight, I'm Ted. I'm always Ted, but tonight I'll be reprising the role of Mortis J. Gabliano. And since Mike is not with us, I'd like to take a moment of his time for a message to the Goblin King. Okay. You big fat blob, you think you're the shit, but my mojo is strong. You can't take the hits. Ain't got no Kalishnikov. You ain't gonna pop off. My good sword arm gonna take your top off. I'm the real Mortis J, so please stand up. I'm the Patoristus with maximum Thoth. I'm filled with holy light, but you're just a moth. The light of knowledge has come into my brain. New ways of learning to bring you the pain. My goblin attack gonna make you insane. This rap is done, so listen to my refrain. I'm the real Mortis J, so please stand up.
Oh, hey, what?
Wow.
Nice.
Whoa. Wow.
Jeez,
Well
that's
done.
some next level shit right there. Okay. So
Don't
Mike
actually
is...
say that to the Goblin King, though, right now.
Yes, understood.
Oh, no, it's canon.
No,
it's
too
canon.
late.
And John,
Canon
if you
now,
don't
baby.
enforce it,
Canon.
I will be deeply disappointed.
Mike would normally be playing Lothar, but he, of course, is dead to us tonight. Okay, so it is the 25th of Gelenios. It is deep in the dark depths of the witching hour. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Doesn't really mean much down here, but just remember that your fatigue time now is going to be 5 p.m. Let's see. You are currently in the Debouchement with the goblins and the entire AV club, retainers and PCs all arrayed before you. It's been a long time since the entire group has been in one place. You were received with an almost what's the word?
Messianic fervor?
Messianic. There you go. That's a good word. Yeah. Messianic fervor. That's a good word, Ted. For whenever you came out of the pyramid into the green mist, it appeared that Versania seemed to have sort of been leading the congregation of goblins, as it were, as Mort stepped down in front of the rest of the AV club down the steps wearing his mask of Toristus. And the goblins seemed to view him as a hero of some sort, almost with worshipful fervor. Bottleneck, the leader of the goblins up here in the Debouchement, gave you sort of a lowdown on what's been going on recently, both with the outside and with the Goblin Kingdom, and with the incursion, the resettlement of the Beastman compound by the goblins. No one has. One thing I'll just add to that whole thing is that no one has seen nor heard of any Beastmen, including their mother, Dano. So no one's heard of her either. So they're a little bit leery around Barrios because they're not really sure how he's going to take the news, but Barrios, of course, doesn't really give a shit. So that's the deal. So right now, Mort is -2 wisdom, and Wolfherd is +2 con. Mort got the -2 wisdom because of his interaction with Thoth himself in the Oracle, will be called the God Phone. Wolf is +2 con because he dipped his head in the Oracle's fountain and actually got a boon, unlike Upior, who nearly got poisoned, but managed to resist it, thankfully. That's the deal. So you currently have Barrios as your retainer, but everyone is here. You don't have any privacy right now, although because you have some authority here, or not authority, but just, people respect you here. You could probably find some if you want to, but just be aware that there are goblins all around you, all looking at you. And of course, the AV Club wants to hear all about your journeys and all that sort of stuff. So what do you do?
Well, I would so we've discussed this a little bit, and we're not going to stick around long. Although it occurs to me, guys, that we could take the opportunity, as you know, because we're going to pick up some retainers and swap out some gear and yada yada yada. We could just kind of hand wave a 24-hour rest period and get kind of restarted on the schedule. And I could take the opportunity for Mort to sort of, mingle amongst the people and dispense what -2 wisdom he has, and reinforce the Touristus thing. Or we could just grab our people and go. What do you guys think?
Well, the only thing that I think would be good to take care of, well, there's one thing we definitely have to do. And another thing that I'd like to do, we got to sneak back. We got to divert them out of this room so we can go into our old stash that's empty now, except for 2 things, both of which are important: Elizabeth's body and the rug. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So we got to get the rug. That's why we came back here, but it's a chance to take her out of there, place her in, one of the tombs next to, what's his name? The guy with one hand. And other than that, I'm fine with taking the rest. The only complication that may open up is, they mentioned that the Goblin King wants to talk to us. If we're sleeping up here and not going down to our quarters, I could see how that may make that interaction happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
They're fine with it. Like they don't really give a shit. Like I said, that there's no pressure. There's no pressure to go. They're just saying that the Goblin King, he would like an update on the Gislu situation. He seems to be a little bit more paranoid than usual after his visit with Rizit. But you've like I made it clear last time too that the Goblin King, you've already told the Goblin King what your excuses were for the Beastman debacle, why that whole thing didn't go down. So that's already been settled, right? So, yeah.
We could send him a message that we've been hunting all over the Arden Vul and have yet to find any sign of the scepter. And leave it. What?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I like it. I like it.
Okay, let's tell Bottleneck to pass that message on, that we continue the hunt for the scepter, understanding it's very important to him, but we have yet to find it.
Okay, cool. Did you want to send along a reason why you're sending a messenger and not yourselves?
Because we're tired and wounded, and
Elizabeth is dead. Good morning, Elizabeth.
And Elizabeth died, and we have to have a funeral, and I need to wash my hair, and
okay, so we'll go with,
I don't have the right shoes.
Elizabeth funeral. Yeah, just remember, like to get down to the Goblin Halls only takes you about an hour, right?
Yeah,
I'm only saying that because it's not that far. Not that I'm pushing you guys to go meet with the king. It's just like the king would sort of wonder, like, takes you like an hour. Like, what's the big deal?
Fair.
But
fair,
but the funeral excuse works for me. So you sent along that excuse plus the news about the scepter, and they dispatch like a small little team of like 3 goblins to go down to kill it.
And then Mort will summon the what's the name of it? The Theodorus's chair of great ease, and he will sit in the chair with his mask on, and he will tell this goblin and that goblin have to cut the baby in half, and this one over here, that kind of thing, and you have to you owe him 6 oxen and all that stuff, and see how far it gets us.
While Ted is doing that, and because I, relish in making John's life miserable, something occurred to me now that we haven't discussed before. I still have the circlet. I still have clairvoyance. An illusionist that I heard of in myth almost died touching a certain door across from the chasm, from not far from where we are.
Well, that guy.
And with clairvoyance, I could look and see what's on the other side of that door. Not with the intention of going in there, John. I'm just curious because we're here. Would you guys be interested in knowing?
You can walk to that gap in the wall, and like you're only 30 feet away from it, man.
And just use clairvoyance. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to try to go in. I'm just curious.
Can clairvoyance take you on the other side of the door?
If the location is obvious, so I'll read it again.
Yeah.
Allows the caster to extend his or her perception and senses far into the distance to spy upon enemies and scout locations. There's no effective limit to the spell's range, but the location must either be familiar to the caster or be obvious, such as the top floor inside of a tower the caster can see, or just beyond a dungeon door. I've been using the dungeon door thing recently because I read that a couple times, and I'm like, well, shit, So it's
see what's behind there. Yeah.
Unless that is such an annoying rabbit hole, we don't have to do it. I'm just curious because we're here, and I'm like, oh, that thing almost killed me. I wonder what's on the other side. It may be pitch black darkness, though. But
that's what I expect you're going to find. I think it's something weirdly Rhodesian back there. But yeah, you should totally.
Well, that's part of the reason I was going to check just in case, because if for some reason that's like an access tunnel, that's good for us to know. If there is something Rhodesian and it's like, will transport us there. So I thought I'd look. Yeah.
That's a good way to find out if lightning can travel through clairvoyance.
There you go. Oh, baby.
That'd be cool.
You ever see scanners?
Okay, so you're going to make your way back into Plumthorn's own chambers there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just go over to Miro.
Which is now probably filled with fecund goblins.
Yes, it's
fecunding.
Rife with goblins hanging out. It is Bottleneck's quarters. Of course, the sarcophagi have been since removed or placed to the side or something like that. But yeah, that northeastern corner is still open to the chasm, and there have been permanent sconces sort of attached recently that have torches there that are lit so that they can see over the chasm. You lean out, you get the breath of musty air that's kind of coming out of the chasm. And let's see, so you're looking across the chasm basically directly towards the northeast. And the last time you were there, you were kind of on, well, Upior wasn't there at all, but there was, you had attached, or I think that the Darlings had originally attached ropes to the far eastern side of the chasm to kind of shimmy along the side to get to that.
They're transversing.
Yeah, the door. The door was a circular piece of stone, about 10 feet in diameter, and there was a strange glyph on it that zapped someone. Can't remember who it zapped.
It zapped Onweir.
Okay.
With that in mind, however, Matt, you have the language helm on. You might be in there with me just in case the glyph is parsable by you, or is it still?
You know what I'll do? Sure, go ahead. He'll let you borrow it. Put it on your head.
Oh, well, I can't do that. I can't do that and the circle at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be right here. You tell me what you see. I'll draw it on my hand.
So the reason why it went undiscovered is because it was concealed by creepers, right? Which is still basically the case. So and there's no light on that side either. So it's in one way, shape, or form, it's impossible to sort of tell what it says unless you do something else. Like just standing there and looking at it, you can't decipher.
So you point like a bullseye lantern at it, just spotlight it.
Its creepers are all in front of it. You see what I'm saying?
When you say creepers like vines?
Yeah, like vines, exactly. Like
gotcha. Okay.
I see.
Well, guys, I got electrocuted from touching the door and not the creepers, right?
That is my recollection.
Yeah, it was definitely the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tie a rope around my waist. I'll give it to Wolford. I will activate my deerskin boots. I will pop open my continual light locket, and I will float over so that I can be as close as possible to this stone door as I can. Yeah. And I will take.
Wolford gives him a nice, gentle boot to the ass.
There you go.
Float right across.
And I can. I guess I could just use my staff. I don't want to touch the door with it, though. Is there a way? Does it seem feasible?
Creepers with a sword or a dagger or something. Just
shoot. I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to touch the door with the other end of the knife. Do you think I could maneuver in such a way with Iso's knife that I can cut the creepers from above and not touch the door?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you're floating there in the darkness.
No, you have to forget.
Okay,
drop these creepers on some poor troll's head down at the bottom.
And then I'm going to move out of the way so Wolford has line of sight to the door with me lighting the door, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So the glyph is glowing. It is a Rudishva glyph.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Which you've just recognized now, but you have no idea what it means. But there was also some runic style letters there that were in crude Arcanti, and Onweir did see these at the time. And it said, Artax Rees does not wish to be disturbed.
So, Artax Reese is not a name we've heard since, right, guys? I don't believe
so. Hold on.
Let me check.
That might be on the roster. Yeah.
He's one of the original crew.
All right.
He worked with Sailor Kai. He was one of the experimenters.
Yeah.
Strange biology.
Oh, this is Artax. Oh, wait. This is
one of the first guys.
This is one of the first guys who rebelled or revolted, right? No. I'm conflating him with all these names. Sound a little
experimented
similar.
with magic. They found Arcanum, did research.
Yeah.
Their life extension experiments were magic, and then what's her name? Akla Cha gave us a bunch of names: Kalakaris, Krelikvar, Sailor Icus. Sailor.
Well, how about this? How about this, Ted? I have a comms bracelet now. I'm gonna go. Hey, Ted, do you want to ask Aklacha about Artax Reese in this spot?
Well, Matt's actually got the bracelet,
Yeah,
and I
actually,
was going to say before you do
okay.
that, Matt, you should see if that door is something you can access with the bracelet. It might be an electronic door.
That's also true.
Okay. All right. I'll look at it. I'll tap on the bracelet to wake it up, and I'll give the command key or say the words, open door, if it works.
That does not
see
work.
the controls for it.
No.
Okay.
He's not able to find it in the Bluetooth listing.
No.
I'm scrolling. I don't see it.
Interesting.
Okay. Okay. Then you should go and ask. You should ask Aklacha.
All right. I'll do that. I tap on the thing. Aklacha, are you there? Hello, it's me, Wolford.
Yes, Wolford.
Nice to hear you. How's everything going?
Everything is normal in the hangar bay. What can I do for you?
Oh, okay. Well, I was hoping to get, hoping you're having a little more fun down there, but just a quick question for you. We're looking at a sealed door that seems to mention somebody you mentioned to us before, Artax Reese. And there's a series of glyphs on it that says Artax Reese does not wish to be disturbed.
Just to clarify, that's what the Arcantian says, right, John?
Yes.
Do we know what the glyph says? What does the Radishva say?
Well, Wolford's not there, right?
Yeah,
Wolford's right there. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm lighting it. Wolford's 30 feet away, holding the rope at the other side of the chasm, looking at me.
Right at the
door
opening.
So he's right here, and I'm right here.
Tiny glyph. I assumed it was big, right?
It's fairly big, yeah. It says it's like a ward, so it doesn't really have like a direct word connection.
It's just like a magic, okay.
But it basically gives you the impression of protection.
Okay.
Okay, it's a bit of this Rhodesian magic rather than Rhodesian science.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem to be that way.
So, yeah. So I just mentioned, I know you mentioned this person before, but what? Is there any reason why they would be up here? Do you recall anything about their passing? Could this be their tomb?
I have no knowledge of Artax Reese's fate, although it appears that you may have found it. Although, if you're reading that does not wish to be disturbed, might be a reason.
John said, "You guys want a TPK right now?" Okay. So, go ahead.
I'll chuckle and share the warning. I don't think you want to go in there.
All right. I am going to use the circlet to try to perceive what's on the other side of that wall/door.
Okay.
With clairvoyance.
With clairvoyance, correct.
Yeah.
And if I see nothing, I'll then use clairaudience afterwards to try to hear something.
You see something. So when you project into there, let's see. So it's a small chamber with about a 10-foot long vestibule, like right on the other side of the door, and then it leads into it's I don't know, because it's on an angle. I don't know, 20 feet by 10 feet chamber. And it's tiled with 6-inch squares of lapis lazuli. Each tile has has a tile. Each tile has a golden bead in the center. Well, actually, hold on a second.
Something like that, John?
Hold on.
Okay.
You know what? You know that the spell was successful, but you know that you're looking inside the room, but the room is completely dark. So forget everything I said.
I can't hear you, David.
Ironic, because I said I'm going to use clairaudience to try to listen into the room.
Okay, so you're going to switch out and then do clairaudience?
Yes.
Okay. You hear nothing.
Okay.
It's okay to walk away, David.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's okay to walk away or float away.
Oh no, of
Yeah,
course, of course. No, I'm fine with. I was just going to say, I wish there was talk about a spell to make in the future, a like remote light spell that can move through walls or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think we can walk away. I'll throw one more thought out. Not that we should act upon it, guys. I do have a stone shape spell that I could cut a hole right into that chamber with.
I do not.
By a scroll.
Yeah.
Not a fan?
I think it'll just sidestep us from what we're trying to do. Of course,
I think that's fair.
Propose something just probably equally
I'll
wacky.
say
remember that as I say my next thing.
I'll say one thing again. I think that's fair. Although we shouldn't know this information, so never mind. I won't. the tiles are sus to me, is what I'm saying. That's basically it. But all right. Well,
so
I will return to you and say, turns out it was a toilet. And just pretend like I saw something on the other side. Lavatory.
was it occupied? Somebody's in here.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that like introductions, catching up, moving to bottlenecks chambers is all going to take a turn, and then the interaction with the door will also take a turn.
Cool, perfect.
Okay.
So 2 turns.
All right, I'm back on our side. What do you want to do, Wolford?
Okay, so we have an evening planned where we unfortunately we got to take care of Elizabeth, who passed. Sorry about that, and retrieve some things once it's private there. But something that's been bothering me a lot is the thing that we've seen so many times, just like this giant statue in the middle of the room with this box. And we never have figured out what that's for. But I had an idea, knowing that Thoth is this god of knowledge and secrets and all of that kind of stuff. What if we made him an offering and just we have so many magic scrolls and things. You have a bunch of magic books. I don't know if you need all of them. What if we were to put one of these books or pieces of knowledge into the box? That seems like something that he'd really want. And maybe he'll blow up and be on fire. I doubt it. But it seems like the kind of thing he might like.
I mean, I'm filled as I am with the fervor of the holy light of knowledge. I have a feeling like the statue does not magically or even divinely do anything. I have a feeling like it's a mechanical thing, because we know about the arms moving, right?
Uh-huh.
Like you put something in the box and maybe it disappears. It's probably just the bottom falling out and it's going off somewhere, some depository or something, not like Thoth himself actually accepting a sacrifice. You're just giving it away to a priesthood that doesn't even exist anymore. I'd much rather play around with the arms and see what we can get it to do.
So gangrene sort of pulls the hem of your tunic or whatever, Mort,
Yes, my friend, my deepest friend, gangrene.
But boss, you just got to be careful. You might not remember, but there's a couple of the goblins, they actually died because they were experimenting with that box. Putting all sorts of random shit in there. They got toasty, real crispy like.
That's right. Thank you for reminding us. You are wise and good,
You can't just throw anything in there. You got to think carefully. I don't know. We don't know. We haven't figured out what goes in there, but we're not willing to risk it.
Thank you.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. Because I heard tales of one of the things that you put in before, and some of the things we tried before. We tried a Thoth holy symbol. We put that in there. Nothing happened. I remember the explosion. I remember happened when they put Set holy symbol.
Right.
Oh, is that what they put in there? Oh,
yep, and that made it explode. That's why I was thinking that maybe the Thoth holy symbol would. But now I'm thinking if we match the arm position, and there was a good arm position. We just got to try to remember what it was. I think it was one up and one down. Put the arms in the good position and put a scroll in there, and I think that I won't die a fiery death.
I support you trying, Wolford. I will be in an adjacent room.
In the frescoes, we see Thoth with his left arm pointing forward and his right arm at his side. If that helps.
Right. And I remember we manipulated the arms in the room that's adjacent to the cavern, right? And we found the good position. It's like one up and one down. It's just which one that was. If we can figure out which one that was.
Yeah, so right now his default position is he's doing the Egyptian thing where like one right foot is in front of the other. Like he's standing, he's on top of a 3-foot tall granite pedestal, and his arms are flat at his side. But you've determined that they do rotate on stone pins. Ibis head, white marble, eyes are empty sockets, and the general body itself is mostly made out of carved black onyx. It's about 15 feet tall, and you've seen you've seen a couple of 15-foot tall Thoth statues, but the ones that are nearby are, as you said, one on the other side of the chasm, and there was the other one that is actually very nearby, just right to the west of you, in the crypts.
Yeah, the room just to the northeast of us, that one, the Guardian came out and killed Cassandra when both arms were up at the same time. I'm finding that in my notes.
Yeah, and we moved one arm up, and it made a sound happen somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think since we're right here, if we put that arm in the good position, the one to the west, but that is near the secret door, if its arm can go up, and then this one as the third one.
Well, my guess is it's left arm out and right arm down, because that's in all the frescoes.
I think we already described this to Upior, but Upior with the iron circlet on, you can definitely tell that there is a secret door under the statue.
Right.
Correct. We knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's. I'm up for trying this. Let's, if we can, we can even split up and put all the left arms up and all the right arms down of these three statues that we can get to.
I have one other thought. Clarify how the burning happened. Was it as if by magic, or was it like valves in the floor, which is an explosion from the center point?
Like a flame strike?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But it didn't go. It didn't go to the perpetrators. It went to the statue. Yes.
It's like centered around it, as what I remember.
No, it directly immolated the person who put the stuff in.
That's very important. Okay, because I was going to say, if you wanted to brute force it with that belt of strength, we might be able to tie a chain around that thing and try to pull it from like 30 feet away.
No, I'm confident. I'm giving him something that he appreciates. Cool. Tauresis, if you can bless me. Plus, I'm swimming in extra HP right now because of my little spritz.
All right,
my spritz was good.
So they described it as a column of black flame. And it was quite large, actually. So sorry, it was not just the same person. It was it affected everyone around the box, not the chest, but the box, which is right in front of the statue. I'm sorry. It affected everyone around the chest, not necessarily the statue, within 25 feet.
All right. So if we can split up and put the guy in his arm out position that we think is good, we'll do this one last, and then I'll put a scroll in there.
I am going to run away because I have no HP. So if this explodes in my face, I'm dead.
So all the goblins are like
I'm still looking at the chasm, I guess, just like pondering that door. We'll say.
The goblins are all still around, and they're all looking at you with rapt attention, wondering what the heck you're doing.
Matt, you're talking about the statue in the crypts there to the west.
And then the one.
Across the little bridge.
Across the chasm. Yeah. This guy over here.
Okay. And we can get there. Well, did we bust open that wall again from the Shrine of Lysion, or is it still closed?
We can just go through the north. There's a hallway that goes right through the north.
Yeah, it's just more fun to go through the Shrine of Lysion.
I mean, either way, it's the same distance. We can just go.
I suppose it is. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Why not? What the hell? Let's satisfy our curiosity before we head back down to the hangar.
Okay, so I don't understand what's going on.
We're going to take all three statues and have them have their left arm forward all at the same time and their right arm down. Because we have a theory that all three statues are communicating.
Okay, so you're okay. Well, okay. 1 second.
This is what Matt wants. All Matt's fault.
We don't have to do this, by the way. If this sounds like it's taking too much or off, I've argued against David doing his thing. If this is too much, we don't have to.
It's okay. I think you should do it because I have an idea for my thing.
All right. So who's going all the way across the chasm?
Mort will go, and he will take a band of goblins with him, so that he will be accompanied by many goblins.
Okay. So first, who's going to the crypt one?
David.
Wolford. Oh, you want? Oh, yeah. If you do the crypt one, that way you're far away, and then I can do the.
I'm trying to figure out which is which. So the crypt one is here.
Yes.
On the left. There's the center point. There's one right across the chasm.
That's the one.
And then isn't there another? These are not related in the near Tomb of Laurel One Eye. Those are just statues unrelated to that.
That was a whole other thing.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can.
This is all based on the notion that when we were messing with one of them, we heard clonking in the walls or something.
And that was when we raised the left arm.
Can I make a suggestion? Take it or leave it. Given that I have the fly boots and we're going over there anyway, why don't you go to the crypt, Ted?
Mm-hmm.
That way, need I do it either in an emergency or for exploration's sake, I can literally float across the chasm and map out anything there.
That is a pretty solid idea.
So why don't I go over to this one, and then maybe on the way back, I'll just head south to that like little notch near the door, just so we can know what's in the middle if there's any secrets.
Isn't the side of the Shrine of Lysion totally open?
It is. Yeah. No, exactly. I know it is. But I'm saying like it doesn't matter. Let's just get to the main action first.
Okay, so when you go back there, you have to. It's a little bit of a journey, so you have to kind of maneuver your way through a couple of old chambers across that bridge to get to that area. Now, remember, this room is pretty crazy, right? It's like kind of got a lot of weird stuff in it. So there's the narrow stone bridge. Chamber itself is 30 feet tall. It's unlit, but there are sconces there. You know what? Well, let's say the sconces actually have been lit. I'll say that the goblins kind of patrol here. So it is lit. Floor has been cleared. There was that thing that happened there. Remember, like the guardian that kind of came out, summoned like the thing of darkness, and like one of the goblins died in there. That's all been sort of cleaned up.
I'm going to have just so you know, the palm rod with the gust of wind response at the ready equipped in case I need to blow anyone into the chasm.
Okay.
Just for what it's worth.
The walls have all sorts of like really strange hermetic hermetic stuff like written on them, like weird like Gnostic principles, magical knowledge, that sort of thing. Unlike a lot of other Thothian fresco work, you don't see a lot of human forms, but you do see like moons of all phases. There's baboons, ibises, pentagrams, circles, and a bunch of numbers in talismanic sequences. So it's very much like the Thoth of like the god of magic sort of vibe here. So there are 3 normal doors that lead from the room, right? And next to those doors, however, are these that have these like frescoes on them. One has a crescent moon shining down on an ibis. One is a baboon clubbing a crocodile, and one depicts a single blue eye.
And that is not where those statues emerged from, correct?
It is.
It is. They did. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, from
Okay.
one of them. Okay. I can't remember which one, but yeah.
I see. Okay.
You would also determine that the doors themselves are all locked, right? From this side, you could not go through those doors. Or at least you didn't figure out a way. That's just to give you a general idea. I guess your attention mostly is focused on the statue, though, right? So,
yes.
So what? Okay. Meanwhile, I got to flip between maps here. Hold on. Let's see. All right. In the crypt intersection, filled with frescoes of Thoth, recording virtues and sins of the believers. This one is most of the depictions of Thoth here are give him in like depicting him in like a scribe form. Indeed, the statue itself is mostly blocks the entire center of the intersection. He's seated in this one, and he is an ibis-headed scribe. On his lap is his book, where he records the deeds of the dead. The left hand holds the book down, while the right hand holds a quill pen. Okay.
So does it not have movable arms?
It does. You had determined that a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we've seen this version of him somewhere, correct, guys? It may be it may be that not all of them have the same posture, but each correlate to a correct posture with that arrangement. Hold on. Check the notes.
Okay. Yeah. So we have that's Mort. So Mort's at that one. Upior's all the way across, and
Wolford's at the center.
Wolford's at the center. The goblins are just staring at you. Like I wonder. The rest of the AV club too is all kind of wondering what the heck you're doing.
The goblins are all they're all sort of scrambling around and chittering at each other, a lot like right before the Balrog shows up in the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so Mort will take the left arm and try and put it into the outward position.
Okay.
And if the right arm can be made sort of more down at the side, then that's what he'll do.
Okay, so it can't. It appears to be that it's at rest position, but you can move the left arm up. So the book basically sort of raises up, so it's sort of more like in front of his face. Right.
Nice.
Now, when you do that, you can probably hear it more. Upior can't. Wolfer can definitely hear that somewhere down below, like underneath his feet, you can hear and feel like a
right. Okay, so that's step one.
Okay.
And then when tell you what, I don't remember if we all had. Okay, so when Mort had the command bracelet, everybody else got a bunch of comms bracelets. Did Wolford get a comms bracelet? Are you wearing two now? Should Mort have one?
I don't have one. I only have the command bracelet now. I think there's only one.
I have a comm
I think
bracelet.
Upior and Lothar got the command
Well,
bracelet.
you can probably hear me. I can shout to you, and then you can tell David that I've done my arm. So we know we all sort of synchronized.
We can also use the human microphone and relay it. Tell him to go. Tell him to
Goblin
go.
telephone?
Tell him to go. Tell him to go. Yeah.
We light the fires, the beacons of Gondor.
All right, so
I'll be
everyone
honest, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I have no idea what you want me to do here. So
Raise the left arm
There's the
up
left arm.
and the right
Just the
arm
left
straight
arm.
down.
Okay, so all three of you guys do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you do that. When all three statues have been moved, you hear a very solid and satisfying chunk of like mechanism moving into place. Let's see. The pedestal in the center of the debouchement grinds backwards.
Nice.
The goblins just freak out, like they jump back. They're all screaming and chittering and chattering. They pull out their weapons. They all sort of like scatter to like the four corners of the room. And so Avaricius is sort of standing there by himself.
Or possibly
he is?
Wolford.
I'm sorry, Wolford. And
That was very satisfying. That was very impressive. All we had to do was raise 3 arms.
and it reveals a set of stairs that lead downwards toward the north. They are dusty, choked with thick strands of cobwebs.
Son of a Matt!
Ooh,
God damn it,
that's
Matt!
That's not what I thought was going to happen.
Well, John, I have a question, I guess, for Matt. Choked with cobwebs, dusty, no footprints, as in it's been a very long time since anything has moved down here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It goes directly
Matt, you wanna light
underneath the
those
stone
cobwebs
chest
on
directly
fire?
in front of them.
Sorry, John.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take. Hand me one of those torches, please, and see if a goblin or somebody will bring him back a torch, and he'll set the cobwebs on fire right there and throw the torch down the stairs.
Okay. It like the in its path, the cobwebs sort of dissipate.
I have a question. Mort will come back and he'll look down the hole and he'll look at the drone and he'll say, "Does that thing have a headlight or a flashlight on it? As in, can we send the drone first with a powerful beam of light shooting out of the front end of it?
No.
Doesn't have a light?
No, it doesn't.
Son of a gun. That would have been really handy. Tie a lantern
we
to
could
it, I
let it-
suppose.
Yeah, we could let it borrow one of ours.
Or cast a continual light spell just on its face.
I don't have that available.
So
okay.
the
Well,
torch.
you know what, I'll go ahead.
The torch at the base, when you toss it down, goes down for about 10 feet, which appears to be the bottom of the staircase. Before it opens up into a 5 foot wide, 7 foot tall tunnel. Looks more natural, like or carved or something, like no masonry, leading northwest.
So
the stairways goes directly underneath the stone chest, which is what Wolford is standing in front of right now.
and then a tunnel goes after what, 10 feet, you said?
Yeah, the staircase goes down for about 10 feet to the north, and then the tunnel is about 5 feet wide, and it kind of scraggles its way generally to the northwest.
FYI, not to backseat you, Ted, but if you make those gray, it might be easier for you to differentiate layers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You don't have to, but just a thought. Might make it easier on the drawing
No, it's a good idea.
instead of dotting. Wow, that was fun.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's inevitable
It's
because
just
I've got this really cool idea about that door I was looking at earlier.
So all the goblins now have sort
I
of
got
like
two of them, in
creep
fact.
back along the edge of that opening, and they've all got their weapons out, and so like you can kind of picture like a whole like U-shaped formation of goblins just sort of like peering over the edge and sniffling and grunting and throwing pebbles in and stuff like that.
All right, Mort will go down the stairs.
I think we got to check it and make sure we didn't
Gotta
make
check
it
it.
unsafe for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So
I'll go down
the
0
bottom
of
stairs.
what you've done so far has been on the plan for the day. So we're gonna have to take a break so I can read some shit. So we will be right back. Okay, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. Okay, so clarification on the staircase. So the staircase actually goes down for 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, and the tunnel is narrow, about 5 feet wide, heads towards the northwest. So, Mort, did you say that you went down there?
I do go down.
Okay, so you go down. It doesn't really smell, except of old things. Really, you don't smell anything like rotting or anything. At the base of the staircase, there is an iron lever at the foot of the stairs.
Oh,
So Wolf and Bob will go down there too. Bob's a little floating friend.
That probably opens and closes from below the statue.
such is my assumption,
what
but I'm
I'm
going to inspect it.
Yeah.
I assume it looks rusty and old and unused and covered in cobwebs and not well oiled and well used or anything
Yes,
like that.
correct. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Bob is the object of much fear and awe from the goblins. And he's basically, as he kind of descends below you, like he gets sort of pelted with pebbles by the goblins, with small, like little.
Now remember, Bob, we're not shooting anyone right now.
He's just got the little tri-laser thing going across their foreheads.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you should put like a giant. Can you reach into the bag and pull out like an XXXXXL robe and just kind of put it over Bob?
I will definitely make him less spooky.
That's a good idea. I reach into the bag and I pull out that sheet that Charlie Brown wears as a goat costume, with a ghost costume with all of the holes.
There you go.
So his weapons can come out.
I got a rock. All right. Mort's actually going to also hold out his hand for something from the sack, some WD-40 or possibly just oil to oil up this lever.
I think I've pulled out oil already, but I have some. We can just pour a little bit from a flask.
All right, I'll pour some oil on it. And I'm not going to like pull the lever, but I just want to fiddle with it a little bit, see if it's movable.
Before he does, I want to look up above. I want to see, like, is this that lever that releases a giant rock to smush it?
Yep, good idea.
Doesn't look like it. It does appear to be movable.
Lupio, are you down here with us or are you up top?
I figured I would stay above in case you guys get trapped.
Okay.
But I can come down if you want. I mean, it's up to you. Although even if that's the case, I don't know if I could reopen it. I don't know. What would you prefer?
Think of it this way, David. What would really make John's night? Splitting the party?
I go up to talk to Crass. Okay, fine. I'll come down, and now that I'm down, I have the Tauristus. I keep calling it the Tauristus. The iron
Gonor. You've got Gonor vision.
I've got Gonor vision. Yes, correct. No, I have the circlet on there and circlet on. So if there are any secrets apparent to me, immediately let me know, John.
Yep.
All right. So examining the lever, is there any obvious, like, is it just like a slot with a lever, or are there any kind of gears or anything?
Yeah, it's just a slot with a lever, basically.
I mean,
pull the lever.
Pull the lever. I do it. I pull the lever.
Okay, so you there is so you pull it and it sort of it springs back to the original position. You can hear like some sort of mechanism sort of kick into gear, but nothing happens. Like it goes chunk when you depress it, and then and then you let go and it ratchets back up into its original position.
Like a one-armed bandit in Vegas.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Can we see up the stairs? Is the door still open?
Still open, down? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Statue didn't move. So we either reset something or we turn something off, is my guess. But anyway, I'll look down the hallway to the northwest. What do I see?
Just a natural, not a natural. It's definitely being carved by hands, but in a rough manner. So there's no stone masonry at all. Which is different than the actual stone staircase that you are descending, which definitely shows Arcantian make.
Right. But this isn't like a Heketi,
No, just normal granite bedrock down here.
All right. Elvis, what do you think we should do?
Elvis wants to go down and sleep on the ground.
Okay.
Elvis probably votes for us sticking to the plan, but that's out the window.
Okay, I'll go down the hall at a brisk pace.
Well,
I'll walk down the hall.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So you don't have any hit points. You go first. That sounds great.
You can go. So, you guys are real nervous about wasting time.
With infravision, do it.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Mort, you go first. Upio, cool your jets.
All right. Mort will start creeping down the hallway. Shield up. Sword out. Infravision on.
Are the rest of you guys following behind from a distance?
Yeah.
How far
and
back?
Again, the wall's just plain carved, right?
Yep.
I'm going to wait at the base of the stairs next to the lever until they're almost out of sight, and then I'll start following, just in case.
Okay, so you guys are following about 30 feet back. Okay, so
let me have Barrios right behind me.
Oh, so Barrios is there too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you move along with Bob and Barrios towards the northwest, completely dark. And let's see. Let's go to Miro here. All right. So the passageway winds its way relatively straight, but on a curve towards the northwest, and it ends. It never kind of widens. It's always about 5 feet wide. It ends at a door. The door takes up the entire end of the corridor. That end is actually right about. If you can see my pointer, can you see my pointer?
Yep.
Ends right about here. Okay. Remember, this is 20 feet down from everything else that you're looking at on the map. Okay. That door is covered. It's a simple door, not too grand, typical Arcantian make, but it is covered with the entire thing is covered with a fresco, quite fresh, but covered with cobwebs, covered with a fresco of an ibis. The ibis is Egyptian, profile, basically, not looking at you, but like, facing.
All right. And I'm not seeing any illusions or anything invisible here.
No.
Okay. I don't have my true seeing on, but the mask still detects illusion and deception. So,
yeah.
Regular door covered but it's painted.
It's painted, yeah, fresco. And the paint's relatively fresh because no one's screwed with it.
Right. And the door, like a typical wooden door for Arden Vul?
Yeah. Yeah, so it has like a handle, the whole job.
Right. Is there a gap, light coming under, anything like that?
No, there is a gap, but it's very, very close fitting. You can't see underneath.
Okay. And I haven't spotted any footprints in the dust.
No.
And the handle, but no sign of a lock?
There is a sign of a lock. Yeah, there's like a hole there. Yeah. You're also kind of all coughing softly as you're kind of kicking out dust as you move.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to trigger ISO's shield ring. So I'm just going to throw it out there. So I have shield on.
Okay.
You got an idea, Matt?
Well, I just wanted to look at the floor in front of the door, knowing that Thoth likes his secrets. I want to look around like in case it's one of those welcome mats falls out. I want to check around the edges of the floor there. That's right in front of that door, just to see if anything looks like it could fall.
Seems to be pretty featureless. Also, it took you about 2 turns to get to this point.
I'm going to get down right up to that lock, inspect the handle, inspect the hole with what I guess maybe is a keyhole, see if I can see the lock action in the door jamb, anything like that.
So you're not touching it; you're just sort of looking carefully.
Yep.
Okay, so it does appear to be a good, solid. Like you can't tell if the door is locked, but you can tell like the whatever the mechanism is. It's pretty complex.
Hinges on this side or on the other side?
They would. The door opens inward.
So that'd be on the other
their side.
Or into me.
Into the room, into whatever's beyond.
Whatever's on beyond. Okay, so the hinges are on the other side. All right. I don't see any evidence of like a mechanism other than the lock mechanism. I'm going to try it. I'm going to open the door.
I'm going to back up before he does. Give about like 30 feet before. I'll have Bob back up as well. Just in case. All confidence in you, Mort.
Of course. I appreciate it.
So you're just going to get the latch and just push the door open, right?
Yep.
What you're doing? Okay. All right. So the door actually does open. It is a little bit of a resistance. But when you do, you just hear, along with like the sort of the grunt of the door sort of groaning as it sort of moves inward, you hear a very soft chick. I need you to make me a saving throw versus poison.
Uh-oh.
All right. I can do that. Saving throw versus poison is a 4 or better. And
What did you roll?
Goddamn 3.
Oh, rough.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Okay, so as you open the door, You hear that soft little click. You look slowly down as your vision is automatically starting to sort of fade and blacken, and you just sort of slowly like look up at your finger and you see like a little drop of blood sort of poke up from like your index finger pad, and Mort drops to the ground unconscious, just collapses on the ground. At the same time that you see, so Mort is basically like in the doorway, right? The door is not fully open, but it's opened into the room slightly.
Yeah.
His unconscious form is on the ground.
Crickets.
1, 2, 3. And at the same time, you hear something on 2 legs, heavy, go from beyond the door.
All right. Barrios will grab Mort's collar and, staying low, pull him back towards Bob so that Bob can shoot over his head if necessary.
Okay.
Matt.
Do we see anything yet?
You guys are 30 feet behind.
Yeah.
You saw Mort drop. You can hear the sound. You see Barrios like hastily pulling him back. And you can hear Barrios underneath his breath. He goes, there's something beyond there.
All right.
He's moving to close the door. That would be his natural instinct.
Barrios does? Okay. Pull it back, Barrios. Bob, anything comes through that door, shoot it.
Do you want Barrios to close the door fully?
He'll pull Mort out of the way, close the door, and then drag Mort back to the rest of the guys.
Okay, cool. So do me a favor, roll initiative.
All right. Barrios rolls a 3.
I rolled 3, 2. Roll again.
Okay. Barrios rolls a 4.
You win. Okay, so you're able to, Barrios is able to pull Mort's form out and slam the door before whatever's beyond that door is able to act. So then silence descend once again.
All right.
No
Pull
thumping.
him back
We don't
this
hear any
way.
thumping anymore?
Sorry?
We don't hear the footsteps anymore?
No, because the door's shut.
Well, as if it's blocking the sound, or the thing stopped walking?
You have no idea.
Ah.
Let's keep retreating, I think, is what we probably want to do here.
Yep.
Come on, Barrios. Back him up. And once he gets close enough, Wolford will take Mort and drape him over his shoulders, fireman's carry. Well, that's not fireman's carry. Whatever that one is where you wear him like a backpack, and start backtracking back.
You could just
back the way that we came.
put him in like the little, papoose thing. Like they carry babies, and you just get a piece of cloth and wrap him like that. He's a little guy.
Mjort Bjorn.
Yeah, Bjorn. There you go.
Does everyone retreat fully?
Yes.
Okay, everyone's back in the debouche. It takes you another 2 turns to get back there. Mort is still unconscious. It is now 2:10 in the morning.
It's time for a nap, I think. And a note to the goblins to never go down that hallway.
Very, very dangerous. So I think we can put the arms back in their neutral position. See if this closes back up.
Do you think that will blow us up? No.
No.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. I'm
So
going to step
I try
a little ways away.
Yeah. Everybody back away, and I will put the central big Thoth's arm back down.
Okay, so just doing that statue alone, kind of putting the left arm down again, does actually cause the entire mechanism to close back up. So the pedestal actually goes, and it closes right back over again. Everyone is so when Wolford actually steps out with Mort draped around him, unconscious, the goblins go fucking ape shit. They're like, "What happened?" They want to know what's going on. They actually try to like carry him off to the Shrine of Lycion. Versania comes over, wants to kind of take him over there, the whole 9 yards. Do you give up the body of Mort to the goblins?
To go to the shrine, absolutely. That's a place that we can take care of him for certain.
Okay. All the goblins are now looking at the 2 of you, 3 of you with Barrios, with like recriminatory looks, like accusing looks, like what have you done to him?
When we found a place that goblins should not tread. Do not repeat that. Do not go down there. Do not let anyone else go down there. It's very dangerous. We can save him, of course. With Vasania's help, I'm sure we can. He'll be fine. But word of warning: do not go down there.
If the Touristus dies while
Bottleneck's got his arms crossed, and he's sort of like looking at you, like really kind of pissed off. And he's letting like the other goblins behind you, like they're all like whispering to each other and throwing you guys very dirty looks. Weapons, hands are kind of being, fingered on weapons, the whole like 9 yards. It's like, it's a tense situation.
Barrios will say to Bottleneck in his kind of voice, which I will not attempt to perfectly recreate. Says, such bravery Mort showed before us. He bravely went down into the darkness by himself.
He yelled at the wizard and said, "No, I'll go first."
He insisted on going first and protected us from the traps that were there. Sadly, the poisons of the ancients are very powerful, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. So like in with those words, and the rest of the AV club too is sort of like filtering amongst the goblins, kind of trying to, it's cool, but they're still like they're pretty pissed off. They're not happy.
Well, that's what we get for going off plan, guys.
We deserve it. Well, you do. I can't believe you made us go down there, Ted.
I know it was wrong of me. I take it back.
So before you
retcon
move
that
on to the
whole
next
thing,
thing, do you wait for however long it takes for Mort to wake up?
I'd say I got to wake up anyway. You guys should have a full rest and let's all go to bed.
I would like to do stuff before I rest, though,
Okay, fine.
because I have a full
let's
dock of spells. So
Oh, that's true. You got a
get-
full dock of spells. Okay.
Let's get Mort in the shrine, get Vasania praying over him. She was able, I have her sheet now. She does have a healing potion, but this is poison. I don't think that, and he doesn't seem to have lost any health. It just has knocked him out.
That's correct. Yeah.
So she's just going to watch and pray over him, encourage the goblins to participate. He needs your energies more than ever. Let's all circle around him, show him we care.
Versanya should wrap him in bandages and like paint ancient runes on his face.
That look like dicks.
No.
I mean, I agree, but
It's
it's a phallus. What was more powerful in the ancient days than a
exactly?
phallus?
The
Come on,
signs
Ted.
of
Do you work in a
fertility and
museum or not?
strength.
I get you, Ted. You're doing the Conan Barbarian thing, which I like.
Thank you, John.
I
You're
know.
a civilized man. Unlike
There were
these rude
some
barbarians
dicks
here.
on Conan. There were some dicks on Conan.
Just the
Okay,
one.
what's the plan?
David?
Okay, so yeah, I'll take him up there, get him going, and then go to the edge of the chasm to watch you try to kill us with your plan.
I can't wait. Here's John. Here's what I like to do. Not immediate death. I like to go from the Shrine of Lycion, which is exposed to the chasm. Right. I still have my floating boots. I don't really need a rope safety, but no, I'm not going to bother with the rope safety.
You sure?
Famous
I
last word.
can hold one to you.
Well, we need, but the thing is, we need like several hundred feet. If that's the case, can we muster
have
several
we've
hundred
got-
feet?
We've
Okay.
got plenty of rope.
If we can string
we tie
like
'em together.
300 feet of rope together, I think it's worth doing.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is a wall, basically push down towards the southeast to reveal some of the confusing regions of this wall of the chasm
Mhm.
prior to the door
Mhm.
to see if there's anything that I spot at our level or directly above or below, but not. We don't have to get too into it, right? Only if it's like 5 feet above me. There's a, I'm keeping a watch out. I have my light on. I'm going to float and push off real hard from the Shrine of Lycion in that direction while floating.
Okay, so you can connect the missing parts there, roughly. Rough wall that
Okay.
basically connects. So now I don't have it prepared, so it would require me to cross-reference like a bunch of different levels because the chasm sort of
Sure.
bisects
We don't
a
need
whole
to worry
bunch.
about that then.
But in general, though, there is every time you sort of approach the chasm, I probably should have indicated that you could probably hear a lot of things like echoing, but directionless. Like you could probably only determine that they're coming from down or up, right? And most of the sounds that you're hearing that are like voices or grunting or something like that, like a sentient species, basically, you're hearing from below. It's very little coming up from up above. All right, as far as sound goes. In addition, you're seeing like light coming from different spots, down and up the chasm as well. Just they are in specific places, but again, I would have to reference it. It's just too difficult.
I wouldn't worry about it. No,
Yeah.
just general paint the picture. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is the chasm is not like a desolate environment. There's a lot of stuff going on in the chasm. But the primary sense that you're getting is extreme vertigo, because most of it is dark, like pitch black, and it just doesn't have any end in sight really. But you do have these points of reference, which I have not mentioned in the past, that kind of allow you to sort of pinpoint like the middle distance, sort of. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's the deal.
Very good to know.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But level to me, between those two locations, there's no distinguishing feature that pops out to me other than the magic door when I arrive at it and the break in the wall near the old HQ.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop on the edge there of what are we calling this room? It was like Plumthorn's old like HQ, right? With 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Plumthorn's office, I'll call it.
It's Bottleneck's office now, but
Bottleneck's, sorry. Yeah, I'll go to Bottleneck's office. I'll go ahead and stop again. We can retrieve the rope if we want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to basically repeat that action and push in the same direction towards this break here, opposite side of the chasm here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to kind of go and try to get that way.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming that I have enough momentum. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. That was just as a flashback. That was the place where at the end of our prison break, like we were stuck there and the halflings sealed their fate by not helping us back across.
That's correct.
Correct. I assume there are no other that we don't already have mapped. There's a little gap here, but I'm assuming there's nothing there. Distinguishing features between those two locations that I see level to me. Good. Okay. I will arrive there.
The ropes are still there, I think. I can't remember if you
probably. And again, like not to retroactively, but I have all this rope. At this point, we probably need to untie and like I'll reel it in. I can like stake it in at this point and go on my own, if that makes sense.
Sure, it's fine.
I'll reel it in, stake it in at my feet, right at this little place where we were stuck before. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yep. Just so I have a little bit of a tether. I'm going to do the same thing and push due south to see if I see any features at this break on the wall.
Right across from there is the
southerly
of an opening.
Yeah. Just southerly of that. Does that make sense?
So yeah, on the southern wall there that you can connect it. There's nothing there that you can see.
Cool.
I can connect that. Okay.
All right. And then after that, John, I'm going to do the exact same thing, due west essentially, and try to see if I can connect and see if there's anything here or if it opens up to that evil chamber or whatnot. So
due east.
The right side, due east of the cavern wall.
Okay, so there is some things there. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 50 feet down from where you're from the Darling exit there, right? Is so. Ted, if you look at the map here, if you fall, can you see me?
Yep.
Okay, so it sort of goes like this, and then goes like straight down.
Ooh. Okay.
And right about like here-ish, I believe, yeah, right around there, there is a very, very small natural opening that heads east. Okay. Oh wait, where? It's actually further down. I think it's tough to set. Hold on.
I mean, I'm unconscious and trying to map this at the same time, so if it's not quite accurate, that'll be all right.
You're very brave, Ted.
Where is that? Hold on.
I am.
Hold on. Is it right there? Yeah, it's about right there. Yeah, and then after about 20 feet further south along the wall, there is a wide opening. that forms a mason floor towards the east. That's about 10 feet wide going east.
I gotta do a quick callback. That I don't know if we ever shared it on the Discord. I did do a speculative map of this and totally botched the Beastman region, but I did guess there was a platform there, and I feel pretty good about it. I'm pretty sure. So, hey, whatever. But okay, cool.
They're 10 foot. It's a 10-foot square flagstone there.
But it goes east?
It goes east, yeah. It's like cracked and buckled.
So I've got something wrong in my map here then.
Well, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. All right. Well,
there's an easterly facing flagstone. Is it around a corner essentially? Is there kind of like a corner there?
There's no corner. It's like it basically. So
it's okay. Don't worry about it. Here's what I'll say. Is there light emanating from it? We don't have to get the mapping exact. Is there light emanating from that flagstone area?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I
don't think so.
I think it's just that I made the cavern or chasm too wide at the southern end.
I think that's probably
and then it would just kind of connect. That's cool. Yeah.
And then does it connect, John? There's nothing else beyond it?
There is stuff beyond it.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
It opens up into a larger chamber, but you haven't gone in, so I don't know what you want to do.
I mean, beyond that flagstone area, is it just chasm wall to areas we've already mapped, but it just doesn't align?
No, it opens up into a whole thing. There's a whole bunch of shit beyond there.
No, not the flagstone part. If he stays going along the chasm wall.
Oh, no, yeah, it just continues, yeah.
Okay, that just continues. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, no, I'm sorry. Okay.
I love you so much, John. You look very pretty today.
There is
today what a swell fella you are.
There's an eastern entrance, like I said, and then there, like Ted, I would just erase everything that you've drawn. Like those entrances are they're whacked.
Okay. Start with Plunger Town.
You're just going to have to go with my description for now.
Okay.
There is a 10-foot wide flagstone lip that you witness. That's about 20 feet south from that very, very tiny natural corridor. Okay. Then heading basically southeast along the chasm wall from there, without investigating that flagstone, there is
keep going down.
There is a rough. Another rough lip of flagstone that appears to be like it's like facing, like that open lip is actually facing on the exact vector of the chair that you were in a long time ago across.
I figured there's some sort of prior connection
right there.
No, the chair is higher up.
Chair's here.
Oh, the chair. Oh, you're right. I saw it was the wrong one.
Okay.
So like now, right John, around here, there's like another lip of flagstone, and then like here, there's like a lip of flagstone that heads east, and then like here, there's like that small little corridor.
Okay. That works. It's totally serviceable.
Yeah.
Beyond that third chair diagonal flagstone, is there any other feature until we get to the old like the rope and tombs that we fled on?
No.
Okay. Yeah. And to clarify, I hate to ask, did we ever get to the very sort of like we found the wizard tomb on the other end? Do we ever go to the actual corner of the crevice here at the southernmost tip?
I don't think we did.
I'm going to go there real quick too.
Okay.
Just to make sure there's not something right there. And don't forget, I have Teresa, or I keep saying Teresa. I have the iron circlet on this whole time. So if there are any secret doors.
Yeah.
Tunnel revision.
No, it just narrows to a point.
Okay. So I'm going to return. I'm going to use my comms bracelet and say, hey, how's it going, gang? Is he still knocked out?
Well, yeah, well, the goblin's still dead. I mean, sleeping.
Yes.
I'm going to say the investigation took about 2 turns. At that time, when you make your way back, that is when Mort actually rises naturally out of his unconsciousness. Versani was going to get a little bit worried because none of her ministrations were doing anything, but you appear to just kind of rise out of it naturally.
All right. John, the next thing I want to do, I'm trying to move real quick. So if you get lost, let me know. The biggest flagstone was the easterly one, was the 10-foot one, right? The other one was a really small hole, and the third one was a little smaller, or they're basically the same size?
They're both basically the same size, the flagstone one. Yeah.
I'm going to just step on the edge of the flagstone with my light on and look in and see if there's anything distinguishing, and then move to the next one. So I'll start at the most southerly one, just look into the room. Is it a long hall? Is it a big room?
So it's a big room. So the room that you see is actually a roughly 40 feet by 40 feet square room. You were looking in on the southwestern portion of that room, and directly in the
Where
center.
are you, David?
I'm here. I'm here at this most southerly flagstone, looking into this room that is 40 by 40.
Oh shit, my map is terrible. Okay.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
So there, the room itself is about 25 feet high. 10 foot, 10 foot flagstones basically. The walls are undecorated and the floor is undecorated gray granite. The centerpiece of the room, though, is a gigantic stone chair, much larger than the one that's across the chasm. Much too big for a human. The back of the chair is loosely covered by an extremely worn piece of leather. The seat and the arms of the chair are worn as if by heavy use. And they, there is a glyph of some sort that has been carved into the seat of the chair.
Does the chair look roughly Rhodesian size or troll size?
It looks Rhodesian size. Well,
I
or troll size. It looks both, but they're both kind
similar.
of the same.
But okay.
Yeah.
It seems to be a Rhodesian and human sort of like peering across the chasm at each other dynamic here.
There's other stuff here.
Okay.
This is very unfair. David gets an alien space chair, and I got a poison needle.
There,
I said you could come with.
behind the chair, there is an 8-foot by 15-foot stela, like a stele.
I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Set into the floor.
Like a standing stone.
A stone,
okay.
Yeah. Inscribed on the stela is an imposing form of a tall biped with small horns on its temple and prominent supraorbital ridge and jawbone, indicative of a Rudishva. The figure also appears to have slightly visible fangs. It is dressed in a flowing robe and rests its hand on the hilt of a massive great sword. At its feet is a sinuous reptile. There are strange runes that run around the image. They're actually not strange to you. They are definitely glyphic. You can't read them, but you know glyphic when you see it.
Sure. Okay. So that's a bring Matt along situation. But do you guys recall the great sword, because my memory is terrible, as a iconic feature of any of the famous founding Rhodesians? No. Okay.
No, I don't.
Egresses, Ted.
Sorry,
there you can connect that western flagstone thing directly into the room.
Oh, that's good.
And there is a 10-foot wide staircase that descends from the southeastern portion of the room east.
Like here?
Yep.
So just to clarify, John, both the southerlymost and the easterly facing flagstone enter into this room. So they're two
That's
flagstones
correct, yeah.
enter.
Yes, correct.
Oh, I was hoping for that. All right, good.
That makes me a lot happier about my mapping.
Okay. The stairwell is open. There's no door. Well, I wouldn't know it was a stairwell, I suppose, if it wasn't.
Yeah,
It's
there's no
descending
doorway
as
or
well?
archway. It's just the flagstones just drop off into a staircase that goes down.
Okay. I'm going to very quickly run over to the top of the staircase, look down, and throw a rock as hard as I can, as far as I can down the stairwell, just to get a sense of its depth if I can.
You can. Okay, so you're moving into the room.
Fuck. Not the question. Yes, I'm going to hug the southerly wall and move very slowly into the room, at the ready to jump at that chasm with my floating boots as quickly as possible. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you get to the top of the stairs. So you can actually see that it only goes down for 10 feet before it actually switches and turns a corner and goes down again, like on that corner.
Or does
The
it
walls
turn
of the
toward north?
stairwell.
So,
Sorry.
I'm sorry, yeah, it turns north, Ted.
Okay, John, 2 questions. If I get really quiet, do I hear anything, even if that's a hollow gust of wind?
No, you hear nothing.
Is there any light emanating from below?
No.
Are the walls worked Arcantian stone, plasteel, or worked Rhodesian stone?
Everything is relatively
Rough.
unworked granite, like very kind of bare bones granite.
Okay. Does the helm trigger any secrets both in the stairwell and in the room now that I'm in it?
No.
The circlet, rather.
No.
Okay. If I look at the backside of that chair, do I see anything?
So the entire back of the chair is covered in a scrap of leather.
A scrap of leather.
Extremely worn piece of leather. And it's basically
Like
obfuscating.
hiding something.
It's obfuscating both like the back of the chair and like the front back of the chair. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
draped over for design, and it
It's a
softens the whole look of the
design.
room.
Oh.
It's like a
ties the room
throw. It
together.
looks like a throw, right?
Yeah.
But it's a,
Why
like,
do you have to do this to me, John? Also, why did I not leave one of the rugs with you guys and take this one with me so you could have just come over here with me right now? Literally, I have both rugs in my inventory. I'm an idiot. I'm going to... oh, God. I don't... I'm going to use the palm rod and cast Gust of Wind to try to blow the leather off the chair from as far away as I can be.
Ooh.
okay, so you're going to want to remove a charge from the.
I don't know what charges it has. Yeah.
So just like keep a tally. And that happens, and the leather kind of flutters off. So you remember there's a glyph that's on the seat, like where you put your butt.
Okay.
When you blow off the leather, it actually reveals like where you would rest your back. There is another glyph.
Okay. I'm stopping there. I'm going to leave this room. Do you want me to drop a rug in it before I leave? So that you guys can read it. You don't think you should bother?
I don't think we should. I think we're too far off our plan.
Ted, agree?
Oh man,
I'll put it this
It's going to be stuck there.
yeah.
No,
because I can
say-
fetch it. I can fetch it the same method I have. We know it took 2 turns to do the chasm.
This is mission creep.
Okay, I leave. I don't leave the rug.
I thought you were going to be spending time trying to get into the tomb.
That was the plan, but I wanted to map this for us real quick. What we are learning, I think that's useful here, is multiple Rhodesian features exist on the opposite side of the chasm. I don't know what that tells us, and I don't know where that stairwell leads, but it might be pertinent. I'm going to leave.
That's true.
Again, I'm saying that only because we know that there's one giant transit shaft that we used with the magic goo, and there's one giant transit shaft that's mechanical that has spiral stairs that go around in circumference.
Yeah.
Not that we will need them, but again, I'm just thinking about transit. I'm not thinking about like the quests. That's my logic with the Rhodesian.
No, I mean a simpler way to get where we want to go over here would be really cool. But I call your attention to the fact that you are not very far away from an extremely evil, probably Heketi obelisk.
Gotcha. Yes. So I'm going to leave this room, John.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tow over to the smaller passageway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look inside of it. While I'm floating, I'm not going to enter it yet. I'm going to look at the aperture and just look in. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
While you're doing that, I'm going to go tuck that kid in and have fun dying or staying alive.
Love it.
So you look in there. It's very, very cramped. It's probably about like 4 feet wide at the most. Definitely wholly natural. It's not.
I bet it connects to that chasm there, or that cavern.
I think
it appears
does.
to generally, after about 10 feet, you can kind of see shining your light in there that it heads generally northeast-ish.
I think that's probably where it goes. Do I detect any odor, especially familiar odors, having been in Heketi areas? Or see like the slime, the viscous, film that was on some stuff in the Heketi areas? Do I see that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a general unpleasant odor. Like there's a humidity that you kind of feel as well, kind of coming from beyond.
Okay. I think that just connects to the evil area. I could maybe just turn slightly so where it turns north and look. Maybe I'll just go in 5 feet and just poke my head around. Do I see anything, or is it still too windy?
Still a little too windy.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna leave. I think I'll just book up. I'll keep that for now.
Okay.
Lastly, I'm gonna return to the chasm where we were trapped by the scandalous
Perfidy.
scallywags of a stature unbecoming of heroes, and get in that hallway. Okay.
Okay.
I'm in it. I have unfastened the rope, or I can just leave it there for now. I'm going to go all the way north up into this tomb area right here.
Beware, I think those X's are for spikes that come out of the floor.
Oh, I thought they were in the chests. No?
No, it was floor spikes. Beware of floor spikes. I think that's the room.
Oh shit, I can't remember that.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
this is
when you kind of move into that room, Upior, you have never been in the room, so
that's the thing.
So there are
I forget I said anything.
There are 3 sarcophagi. There are images on the wall that depict priests genuflecting at the feet of an impassive human with a cylindrical headdress whose left arm points forward. The floor is dotted with 3/4 inch diameter holes.
The entire floor.
Yeah, the entire floor. Yeah.
But were there pressure plates, I think, that triggered it on the left of that sarcophagus? Or was when we
touching
removed
the sarcophagus triggered it?
I thought so. Okay. I'm going to float.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to wall climb to the south, my brain, westerly corner of this room. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to use a scroll of stone shape, which allows me at the 7th level 7 cubic feet. And I'm going to create a, 12-inch diameter circle and shoot it, 7 and change feet in the direction of where I think the chamber on the other side of this magic door was.
Okay. So you stone shape, erase that scroll or erase it off the scroll that it's on or whatever. So you meld the stone for the very first time. And indeed it opens up into the back of the chamber of the tomb of Artax Rees.
All right.
He said Tomb of Art.
I knew it was a tomb. It was a tomb before? Oh, I didn't know it literally said it was a tomb. Okay, well, there we go.
No, it did. We all assumed it was a tomb.
I see.
Okay. So with your continual light kind of beaming in,
sure.
Let's see if I can adjust the description here. Okay, so there are blah blah blah. Oh yeah, so tiled with 6-inch square lapis lazuli tiles. Each tile bears a golden bead in the center. When light permeates the room, the beads reflect light in an almost blinding way, like everything sort of like lights up.
I figured there'd be something with those beads. All right, cool.
In the 10-foot long entrance passageway, which is the proper way to get into this room, but heaven forbid.
I would never come in the front door.
Come
in the back door. Quote me.
There are 4 desiccated skeletons. 2 of them are definitely ancient Thothian priests, while the other 2 appear to be much more recent and are wearing adventurer's gear.
Those poor bastards.
The set of lapis tiles on the eastern wall have had their golden beads stripped away, so they are not reflecting light on the eastern wall. Instead, in the place of those tiles, there is a crude inscription in Mithric that has been painted across them. The tiles are still there, but the golden beads have been removed. And the Mithric says, "Do not disturb Lord Artax Rees. The prior forbids it." Like a priestly prior. Resting on the floor of the chamber in the center is a strange, what appears at first glance to be a sarcophagus. However, your experience with the Rudishva teaches you better, Upior. It's 8 foot long and about 4 feet wide, but it appears to be made out of orange, very shiny, very hard plasteel with a clear glass lid. And there is a very strange clasp that holds the lid shut. Okay.
So like the cryopods in or am I misunderstanding? Is it similar to where? No,
it's similar in make, but you can definitely determine it is not a cryopod. Like it, okay. I mean, You don't know. You have no idea. It just looks different than the cryopod. Okay, because it's like
Okay.
it's not like raised. Like the cryopods were sort of like raised up a little bit, right? Like they were sort of vertical. This one is like on the ground, like a sarcophagus.
But
the lid
just to be
is
clear,
on top.
But the lid has essentially a viewing window, and the rest is orange plasteel.
Yeah, but it's the entire lid too is completely clear.
The entire top. So, it's like a reliquary almost.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
In a way, like a saint's body would be there. Okay.
Yes, all made out of very modern, clear. The box itself is made out of an orange plasteel. Against the western wall, there is a large stone chair, too large for humans. Is that
On the western wall.
Yeah, I guess so. Although his map doesn't say that, but whatever.
Hey, John, where's his giant greatsword?
The
Kidding.
it does look similar to the chair that you just saw. Yeah, okay, so that's generally kind of what you see at a cursory glance when you sort of bust through the door there.
Okay, so 4 bodies in the 10-foot hall, not in the chamber proper.
Right.
Does it look like they're literally the threshold, like very specifically, like it's almost as if there was an invisible line that they couldn't cross, and they're down on the side of it?
Not necessarily. No.
It's not that organized. Okay. A chair that is of the size of the other Rhodesian chair, not a small one, even though we drew it small.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wall is covered in lapis lazuli tiles with yellow beads at the center, except for a few that have been pried out on the
Eastern wall.
Northern wall.
Eastern wall.
Do I have this map at all right, John? Like the orientation and everything?
Yeah, that's pretty much right. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And the presumed sarcophagus, from my view, I can see orange plasteel. I can't see anything like a control panel or digital screen or any layout that would be registering information, right?
Not where you're standing right now. You were literally in the northeastern corner of the room.
So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to use clairvoyance to look basically above the sarcophagus, slightly in front of it, so that if I had that angle, I could see what's inside and potentially what's written on the front.
Okay. That's the most local use of clairvoyance I've ever seen.
If it's possible,
Mark off another use of clairvoyance. I think you're down to one more.
Just one left. Yeah.
So so looking down with the spell, it is a clear lid. Inside, there is the form of a gigantic Rudishva skeleton inside. He clutches a large 2-handed sword in his grip. And there are other valuables that can be seen inside the chamber, inside the thing that he's in.
I got you,
David. Can you see what the 4 bodies died of? Like their heads are separated, or they've been melted, or whatever.
Either John can answer that, or do you want to answer it after you're done with your sarcophagus description, John?
Yeah,
so it's a good question, Ted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Inside there is, you can obviously see what is a greater power supply. Okay.
Oh yeah, baby. We need one of those.
That's inside of it. There is mounded. There are a bunch of ancient Arcantian coins, gold and copper. A lot of them. The skeleton appears to be wearing a ring. Let's see. Has some. Well, you have the iron circle on. Okay, so yeah, the ring is magical. He's wearing boots that appear to be magical. There are 2 scrolls in there, and these also has a staff. Now the staff is actually you can only tell it's a staff because of the general shape of it, but it's actually wrapped in blue silk and it's lying at his side because he's clasped with the sword on.
Is there any gold glinting from that staff? What's the Goblin King staff look like, guys?
Probably not that.
Okay.
That would be awesome, though.
It's also magical.
Okay.
The adventurers. The only thing that's glowing, the only thing that detects as enchanted, is on one of them that appears to be a potion.
How the hell would they have gotten this far with no magic items?
Well, they didn't.
Well,
one of their friends died opening the door, and then the rest of them died in here. Can you see? Can you see if those 4 skeletons, 2 adventurers, 2 Repositions, if they look like they were fighting each other? Like, did they die in battle, or they just happen to be kind of resting?
What did they die of? That's the main thing.
They don't look like they were fighting each other. Looks like they were killed by something else. Blah, blah, blah. Looks like I don't know. There are skeletons, basically, so it's kind of tough to tell.
Okay, cool. My theory, you go in that room, you open that door and go in that room, he wakes up and you fight him.
No, I bet it's like a trap or something. There's one on the door. There's probably something inside, too.
If we know that light... Sorry, go ahead.
Why don't we just take our second break so we can come back and finish this off? We'll be right back. All right, we are back. Bladders empty, beers full. Okay, so what's the plan for this tomb?
John, 2 details while I'm still clairvoyancing. We looked at inside the sarcophagus. On the facade, are there any digital panels, code pads, read-offs, anything that like indicates status, frozen, sealed, etc.?
Yeah, so there appears to be along the base, there is an access panel, which looks like where you when you're looking inside the tomb, where you saw the greatest power supply would sort of match up, where like if you open the access panel, you could probably insert the power supply. So that basically, and there's some glyphs on it as well. Some from Reposition. Yeah.
And you said that what appeared to be the mechanism of sealing this were like clamps.
Yeah, there's like a weird clasp. Yeah, that sort of like clamps it shut. Yeah.
From the outside.
It's similar to the ones that were in the deep space containment units.
Okay.
One more question. When you mentioned that like blinding flash, was it a flash, or did they stay on once that?
They stay on. It's definitely a natural effect. It's just kind of remarkable technology. They just sort of infinitely sort of reflect the light coming. It's almost like a more refined version of what the priest did with the well of light.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to whistle into the hole to create a noise, and then I'm going to dodge out of the way with my head and see if anything echoes or responds to my noise in the room, if it triggers anything.
Where are you? Oh, you're just whistling into the room itself?
Into the room via this hole I made, whistling to the room, and then kind of like getting out of the way. And I'm going to listen to hear if anything sounds like it was triggered by sound.
Nothing.
Okay. I'm going to take the magic pebble, which returns to me after, I don't know, a day or two. I'm going to flick it into the room. Same deal. There's a presence of something skittering across the floor on this thing, and maybe I'll try to flick it against the sarcophagus.
Nothing happens. It's now 3 a.m.
Okay. All right.
What are you going to do, David? Are we going to check it out, or are we going to not?
I've got this ebony staff that says Mor's Eternum, which certainly means I can instantly kill someone without any save, right? I think so. I do have to use it at some point.
We could go ask Kobo Khan. I'm sure he'd tell us.
That's true. Well, again, actually, this is a pertinent thing to remind him, because there's been a lot of con discussion, both publicly and privately. I want everyone to remember that the very, very, very first mention of Khan that we received was on a rumor on the stairwell down into the Debouchement, which described him as a liar who pretends to be helpful and leads a ghoul army. And it's something
one does wonder.
One does wonder, but pretends to be helpful. Okay, I'm gonna use. I have one more bag of tricks, and then I can come retrieve y'all if y'all want to try to do something or not. Let me double check the spell description. Double check the caster can take control of a single creature, moving it around as they wish, like a puppet.
Can you do the skeletons?
I want to do a marionette of a skeleton and try to like get it to shamble up to the thing. Nice. But I have to. It describes that a spell can target either a corporeal undead monster of up to 4 HD or a human demon or human-like monster, It doesn't say corpse, but is it fair to say if I could do that to a sentient thing, I could do it to a corpse because it is
What spell are we talking about?
Marionette. It's a special necromancer spell.
Yeah.
Concentration up to 1 round per level, so seven rounds.
Give me the deal about the target.
Range 30 feet. The caster takes control of a single creature, moving it around as they wish, like a puppet. Okay.
Creature.
Targets. The spell can target either a corporeal undead monster of up to 4 HD or a human, demi-human, or human-like monster. What I'm
it can't be like
pitching
an
is
inanimate
because
object.
it's still I can't do an inanimate object.
No, it's got to be like a.
Do you have a spell?
Yeah.
Do you have a spell that can animate one of the skeletons and make it be undead, and then take control?
I don't, unfortunately, but I do have.
You call yourself a necromancer.
That would be animate.
I'm gonna cast Phantasmal Force, and with that, I'm going to create an illusory monster
Okay.
that can be directed to attack. That monster is a
Make it a Heketi.
Heketi. Sure. All right.
Yeah.
200-foot range, concentration. I'm going to cast it around where the corpses of those skeletons are and see if there's anything that happens in reaction first.
Nothing happens.
So I'll cast it. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
I'm going to direct it to move right in front of the sarcophagus and see if anything happens.
Nothing happens. Point of clarification too, with the clairvoyance looking at the Merdishva inside, is that to be clear, it's a skeleton, and that skeleton looks very similar to the skeletons that were sitting on the chairs that face the transit shaft in a number of different places. With one big difference is that you don't see that the eyes do not appear to have like the orange light coming from them.
Yes.
But in every other aspect, they appear to be that creature.
So it's certainly a Radishvan skeleton. It doesn't have the Arcantium eyes. Did those guys also have two-handed swords? They did, right? No. What were they wielding down there? No, they did.
They did have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did. So they had the swords.
I thought they had clubs of some kind.
Well, they had the swords, right? They didn't have the glowing eyes. The audio thing being a fear factor here. I'm going to tell the Phantom to go sit in the chair and see if anything happens from it sitting there.
Okay. Nothing happens when the Phantom sits in the chair.
I figured it wouldn't because it's a illusion.
He's an actual ass for the trigger the chair magic.
I'm gonna tell the Phantom to walk over to. No, I shouldn't. I mean, I could have it attack the sarcophagus. I don't know if that's really smart, though.
I mean, it's an illusion. I think it would only attack something that could see it.
That can be directed to attack. The monster has 9 AC and vanishes if hit in combat. I guess if it's illusion, yeah, I don't know. That's not it. That would make sense, right? The damage is like psychic damage, essentially, is what you're. That makes sense.
Sentient to be illusioned.
That makes sense. I think that's fair. Okay. I could cast Pummeling Fists of Arak Zor and just punch the shit out of the side of the sarcophagus if you guys want.
Don't do that, because we can if we're gonna go in there, let's go in there. We can use the helmet, we can read stuff, we can figure things out.
For now, I'm going to turn around and come to you guys and regroup the party.
So how are you coming back?
I mean,
I'm going to.
I know it's very cool in there, but I feel like your desperate attempts to activate something in there are indicative of the possibility that maybe we should leave well enough alone and not go in there. I know that's lame totally and everything, but like, we're supposed to be in the hangar by now.
Yeah, but we already did the thing you wanted to do, Ted.
Oh, the corridor?
Yes, leaving well enough alone only applied in one direction. But I agree.
Well, fair.
I agree that this is a far more threatening thing. This is a far more threatening thing. The stars in my eyes are the greater power supply more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, the magic staff and sword and ring and boots. I mean, another pair of floaty boots would be pretty useful to us, but that's less compelling with our main objective than the power supply in case we ever need to use one, because we know they can be drained And we have, Matt, it sounds like we have one so far in our inventory. That's full.
At least one. We picked at least one up in the engine room. I mean, one thing that comes to mind here is that we haven't yet brought all of our finished pieces. Like we have all the pieces that we need for our refurbishment to happen of the spaceship or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we don't, a number of power supplies was not on that list. If it turns out that once we put this together, we need, we could come back. I just think a full party in this case might be good. The amount of treasure seems to indicate that there's also somebody guarding it.
And David, let me say, I wasn't trying to ruin your fun. I was trying to,
I'm giving you shit.
like, you're not what I'm getting at was that you're not finding the thing that's in there, which means the only way we're going to find it is by tripping over it. At which point we're in deep doo-doo.
What are you looking for, David?
I was looking to see, so I was trying to differentiate between, and this was also like we could use like a piglet from the sack or something like that.
Oh, there you go.
A cause of death that was environmental, aka a trap that responded to either audio or movement or visual. Hence, I did the stone or pressure. I was trying to do as many things to change the nature of that environment to trigger something happening as possible, to try to differentiate between the death being a product of the room or the death being a product of opening the sarcophagus.
Oh, so it looks like it looks like the corpses themselves were like violently killed, like not from a trap. I'll put it that way.
Okay. One other question: is there a lever to open that door on this side near the corpses?
That's a good question. No, actually. So what you're seeing from this end is actually like it's a round opening, right? And the seal itself on the other side, from the chasm side, was also round, right? So it looks like the stone, and you're seeing the back of the stone.
There's no mechanism that would.
There's no mechanism, but it looks like it would roll, to the side, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you don't see any means to do that from this end.
Okay. Do I see the glyph that was on the other side on this side? Is it present on both sides?
It is cast on the door. It is not. Okay. No.
All right. So for now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm still floating. I'm going to push off this wall. I'm going to go north into this hallway. Right.
Are you taking both rugs with you, or are you leaving one there?
I don't think that so here's my thinking. If we decide to go in, I can come, because I believe these doors were pressure plated and open from the side that I'm on. Right. So I have a comms bracelet. I can just go north here and say, hey, come over here and come in. I'll open the door for you. We can have one rug here. We can throw the other one through the hole and we can enter via rug into this chamber. That does not mean we should do that, per both of your points. But I think that is better than dropping a rug and just teleporting you here and then like leaving a rug back in the debouchement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we've got our bracelets. You can call us.
So okay, but where are the rugs right now? Or I can
just come to you. Both of the rugs are in my inventory right now.
You have both of them. Okay. All right.
I have both of them in my inventory.
Retrieve them from the pyramid.
Okay. So what do you do?
So I'm going to push off north. And then when I get clear of, when I'm in the hallway, I'll just deactivate my boots and go over and stand on the pressure plate to open the door on the south east corner of the chasm bridge room. And I'll go, hey guys, I saw something. Let's talk. Now, having said that, that's just to get us so we're actually physically together. Do you want to read the glyphs, Matt, before you make a decision, or do we want to just leave it alone? The glyphs might be like, command the name of he who lies here, and you are deserved. Because all the people who tried to communicate with him were not Rhodesian and probably couldn't read Rhodesian, for instance.
Oh, do you think Matt's going to read the glyphs?
Yeah, I can't see them. I can give. We can let one of the guinea pigs run through the hole and run around in that room and see if it triggers anything.
And then if it doesn't, we could rug through, and you could read the glyphs. And then if it spooked us too much, we could leave.
Okay.
And you could loot those bodies there. Probably.
If we are unable to open the big door from the inside, is getting the rug out again.
Oh, we just twine it, because it's still a 12-inch diameter rug. We roll it up, push it through.
If we leave on the other, it'll flatten out. We won't be able to get it back through the.
I mean, a rug can still kind of be crammed through. I think it's a small. It's not like a room rug, right? It's like a bath mat size rug.
Exactly, you can move it through.
You can do that.
Tiny.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the bath mat of teleportation. I see.
Okay. So let's
Okay, so
let's
a
do
turn.
this with it.
What the hell?
Okay. So let's throw a guinea pig through that. So I'm going to open that door for them, John. They're going to come through. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
And turn for you to get over there. Okay. Yeah. And you're going to truck your way back down that corridor.
Now, I'm going to, you guys know there are traps there, even though I didn't. I think it was only from the sarcophaguses, but remember there's holes in the floors, Matt, that can poke you something fierce.
Oh, with the spear traps. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're not going to trigger as long as they don't touch the sarcophagus, Ted?
Yeah. Mort remembers that.
Okay.
I'm looking to confirm, but
you do remember it more. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Touching the sarcophagus.
Yep.
I'm going to point in there and go, look, guys, something cool. Do you have a guinea pig?
Yeah, I do have at least one. I think one may have perished, but I think I've still got one. That's fine.
Okay, throwing the guinea pig, it does not trigger anything when it runs around in the chamber.
Okay.
Now what?
How brave do you guys feel? We can still pull back. You're not, Ted. I was giving you shit earlier too. I'm not going to be upset if we don't do this. You're not yucking.
No.
You know
I didn't want you to think I was like, got my fun.
Trust me, you're not. I'm just giving you shit.
So nothing.
Because I didn't have any fun. That was not fun.
I'm sorry. No, I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to rub it in either. I was just giving you shit. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
All right. So I'll go in. It's no problem. I can go in there. I can look around and not touch anything. I'm going to carry Bob when I stand on that. I stand on the rug, so he can be in there with me to give me some cover. But
I love it. Okay.
Pick Bob up in the sheet. If we push the rug through, I'll look around. I'll read the things.
So you're transporting from just outside, like you're just using the rugs to drop right into the room.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Speaking
of,
oh my God.
Okay, so Bob and Wolford are in the room. What do you do?
So Wolford, quick thought. I don't want to do it for you, but just in case you haven't considered it, you have the command bracelet. You could now teleport back to us and command bracelet Bob to attempt to open that sarcophagus and just let them have a fight.
He doesn't,
you can even tell him to grenade the fucking sarcophagus.
He doesn't have like manipulator arms. He's a weapon.
But
I'm
you
just
got
going
a
to look around.
David, like, can you use a spell to open it remotely?
Like knock or something like that.
I
do have knock, but I have to memorize. I have to sleep to memorize it. I might have a scroll of it.
Let me go. I'm gonna. We shove the rug through.
Yeah.
It's tied with the twine, so we can pull it and fold it back through. I'm going to go in and I look around. I'm not touching. Very carefully, I'm going to go and I'm going to look and read all of the runes. I'm not going to touch the sarcophagus. I'm going to look at the control panel. I'm looking to see if there's a place for me to use my control card.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Bob trained with his gun right at that thing, just in case.
So at the base of the tomb of the sarcophagus, there is that access panel, right? There are Reposition glyphs that are sort of like a label over top, and they read access panel. those are Reposition glyphs.
Why don't you ask Aklachaw? Say, Aklachaw, we found the resting place of this guy.
She already knows that. You already contacted her.
Yeah,
that's true. And she said she doesn't know anything about. Well, she said she didn't know anything about his last location, because we asked if this was.
And then when you pointed out that there's a message in the cartoon that says "Don't disturb," she said that might be a wise idea.
Yes,
and so we've already ignored.
We're past that point.
But she doesn't have like a how to open one of these chambers knowledge, since it's clearly a Reposition technology. She would understand the mechanism of opening it. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So I'm just pointing out that there's a Reposition glyph at the base that says "access panel," and there's an access panel right there.
So you just hit it, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay. True. It says "open this way." Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I also so I see that. I note that there seems to be some kind of panel I can access things through, and I look back.
Yeah.
I look back at the chair. The other ones have had glyphs upon them. Does this chair also have
No, it doesn't. It does not have glyphs. No.
All right.
And just to confirm, John, I think because you said, sorry to interrupt again, Matt, but you identified all the magic items that my circuit saw. There were no secrets or other magic things in the room itself that pinged, right?
That is correct. Yeah, I want to make clear too that the sword he's carrying did not ping.
Oh, just the staff. Okay.
Right. There's a potion on one of the corpses. There's a staff, a ring, two scrolls, and boots, which are magical. And then there's a shitload of ancient gold and copper coins also in the thing. Arcantian ancient coins inside the tomb.
Yep. So are they all inside the I'm sorry, are they inside the sarcophagus or just inside the room?
That's what I mean. When I say tomb, I'm talking about the sarcophagus.
Oh, okay.
And remember, too, that in Mithric, in Arcantian, like ancient Arcantian, on the wall, it says, "Do not disturb Lord Artax Rees. The prior forbids it." All this is leading to, obviously, the fact that the Arcantians were aware of who this person was, right? And had access to inside the tomb, the whole 9 yards, right? You know, so. And it appears that there were, like, two sets of people at vastly different times, centuries separated, were killed here.
I think there's a probability.
I should point out that this guy, this Artax Rees, is one of the ones we know was involved in the life extension experiments. So he probably was alive during Arcantian time. Maybe he sat on one of those chairs and was communing with the Arcantians.
Here's the thing that this is getting a lot of confidence that I shouldn't have. But the minute John reminded me of the 2 generations of corpses here.
Yeah.
Right? This becomes a big question, right? I think he was alive contemporary, like you said, to the prior.
Well, there was like 50 priors, but
yes, but like, in other words, I don't think they're communing with a skeleton. No, I think they're communing with a living Debouchement who perhaps sits in this chair and does not want to be disturbed. And people come in and he's like, "Why the fuck are you in here?" Maybe, or who knows, right? At some point,
I think
I could be wrong. This is wildly confident to assume this, but like at some point it is possible that life extension, because it's not immortality, we know, expires and he is laid to rest in this chamber.
What?
And he does not have the glowing eyes, which we know were the experiment of sort of immortality that like imbued. In other words, it doesn't seem like they had discovered the magic to perpetuate this in perpetuity. So it's possible that he's not. I mean, I don't know.
All right, I've got to do something. I'm going crazy.
I have.
Okay, I won't do anything. Okay.
I have an idea, which is
we were so close.
How did these guys get in here? If this is where he says he doesn't want to be disturbed, how does he get in here? Do you think that chair is a teleporter with the other chair?
I wondered that.
I don't know. Well, let's find out something. I'm going to go around. I take out my big ass 2-handed sword and I start poking around the 4 dead guys. And I'm going to take what happens when I do that?
They move as normal. Nothing weird.
Okay,
happens.
I'm going to yoink. You mentioned that one of those guys had a potion. I'm going to take that potion out. Okay. And I'm going to give it a little tasty taste.
Yeah, both the taste and the look of it, you can easily tell because it's very common. It's a potion of healing.
Okay, all right.
They also have
keep that.
The adventurers themselves also have a suit of scale mail on one, a long sword, but both well made but normal, a smattering of GP and SP that you probably don't care about, 45 and 35 respectively. On the priests, which are much older, again, there are 2 silver. Each one of them is wearing a silver holy symbol of Thoth, worth about 15 gold piece each. But
good,
you found use for those before. Right. So. Yeah.
Yes, I'll take those. Those are handy.
I have one more thing, just as a trick in my pocket, guys, that I do have memorized, which can be used in either direction. So it can be used as a reverse spell, which is enlarge, which at 7th level, I can increase or decrease the size of an object 70%. Now, that could be a lock, for instance, to bust the lock. It could be I could try to use it on the sarcophagus itself to shrink it or grow it. I could try to use it on the door to exit to shrink it. There are things that I could do with that on mundane objects at a pretty good scale at 7th level. Just something to consider.
It's good to know. So I tell them I got a potion from this guy. Be helpful.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to the access panel,
Mhm.
and I'm going to open the access panel.
Okay, so you depress the access panel and it shinks to the side, exposing a number of different controls, right? Buttons and things of that nature. Because you're wearing the helm, you can easily see. It's not too terribly complex. It actually there's a slot to connect the greater power supply to insert it basically in, right? So you could actually remove that right now if you wanted to. And in addition, there is a button that basically is like open the hatch. You know, like open the thing, open the lid.
All right. Well, I'm pretty certain the power supply could be useful, but I think the only thing that's going to happen when I open this, if I open this thing, is that thing's going to come out and try to kill us. And I don't want to be in here alone for that. Do you guys want to come in here and try to die with this skeleton attacking us with his big ass sword, or do you want me to just take the power supply and we can leave?
Before you do anything with the power supply, I should note too that the power supply, I should have told you when David was looking at it, that it is like blinking, right? Like it's active and on, and it's powering this thing, right?
Something.
Yeah.
Okay, so he might wake up when I do this. Do we want it? And if
There's a
we want it,
probability.
do you want to come in when I unplug it and he pops out?
Oh, you're saying that rather than hit open, you're going to unplug it, and both could result in him popping out.
Like the other things, okay, quite frankly, my priorities have changed. It used to be like the gold was really great. Right now, I don't have much of a way to spend it. Right.
Sure.
If our plan is to, so I'm going to try to facilitate that. If we think that this power supply might be good, I can just unplug it. We can take it, but I'm thinking it might wake him if this.
I think that could happen as well. I also do not think we all have to, just to reiterate, what is the drone armed with? A grenade launcher,
Gauss weapons, and a
lasers,
grenade launcher.
a gauze weapon, and a pretty thick hide, we'll say. And you can command it to attack without being in this room, Wolford.
Yeah, but he needs to be in the room to open the access hatch.
That's the thing, the puzzle here. But the actual combat scenario does not require any of us, nor should any of us be in this room. I can cast through that hole. Now, he does have a staff, so he might also be a caster, but I can cast through that hole. And we have a drone that can unload an unholy amount of ordnance on him the minute he moves, if needed. Which is to say that if we want to open this, the most likely scenario in which this would be a negligible encounter is the one we're in right now, because we have a drone. There's no reason we should risk ourselves in that other than casting magic or creating scenarios to secure that possibility. So for instance, I could put the immobilizing mesh atop this thing.
Oh, we could throw it on as soon as it pops open. Throw the mesh in there.
We could throw the mesh on it, and the drone could just start shooting if it moves. I have several spells that could. Like I've literally,
Okay, well,
you know what I mean? Like now that assumes we want to do that.
Well,
but,
let's go. I like this plan. Push the net through. I can drape the net over the thing.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Stick it into the ground.
Sarcophagus isn't going to do anything. You have to open it.
Well,
Then
there's
put it on.
it's a 20-foot net.
Out of prep.
You know?
Yeah, I can put the thing down. Right. The net will immobilize him if he comes up. That's its whole job. Put the net over. I have Bob pointed at the thing. I'll push the button and run to the rock.
Now, again, before we do that, enlarge or shrink 70%. So,
Can you
I can
enlarge the
cast
hole?
The whole. I had not thought about that. I think it's an object. I mean, I'll reread it right now. It describes it as like a subject or an object. Yes. So it's either a creature or an object, and 10% per castle level to a maximum of 100% increase. But also the reverse is true with the same proportionality. Okay.
So you would actually.
What if I shrunk his sarcophagus 70% and it was like on him, right? As like an immobilizing thing. Now the items, would they break? I don't, or would just push everything together? Would it scatter his bones together? Or I could do less than 70%. But my point is, like, there's a way in which we might be able to use this object in that way. Now, if I shrunk it 70%, the power supply probably stops working, the circuitry gets broken, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So keep that in mind. But I'm just throwing that out there because I don't know.
It's too many what ifs. Let's do it.
Okay. 2 o'clock in the morning, man. We're going to fight a skeleton or we're not?
Right.
We got to fight the skeleton in the morning. So push the net through. I'll put the net over. So if he pops out, he's going to be entangled with the net. Bob, aim.
Before you do, I'm going to cast haste on all of us. Haste, boom.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ready Pummeling Fist of Araxor because it is a 7-round hit without a save that stuns potentially. And that's what I'm at the ready with.
All right. So we've got a ready robot, ready fists, haste.
Are you coming in or am I coming out?
It's up to you, but I think you should come out.
Ted,
also,
are you coming in?
We cannot do this. We can leave right now. Famous last words. It is okay.
It's 11:30, man. I think you should come out.
Okay. All right. So this is my plan, John. With the net over it.
Yep.
We might lose the net. Net over it. I'm going to push that button and then make a run for the rug with Bob ordered to shoot that thing if it comes out.
Okay, so the plan is like only Bob will be there, and the rest of you guys are hoping to be in the adjoining room that was stone shaped, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so you press so you're not removing the power supply, you're just pressing the open clasp button, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So let's see. So you do so, and you make a break for it. You can hear like the clasp sort of like chink, like as it kind of pops open. The entire lengthwise part of the lid sort of like raises up on hinges on one side, and like you can hear like an emission of gas, that sort of thing. And you guys are able to kind of move into the other room. You can't really see anything that well, because of the small size of the stone shape, right? But you can definitely hear as something rises out of the tomb, out of the sarcophagus, and with that sort of Mongolian throat singing sort of voice that you recognize from the Rudishva skeletons, barks out, and like a completely supernatural, like supernaturally magnified voice. It says, "Who bothers Lord Artax Rees? Leave now or die." And it says it in that sort of sonic blast sort of manner, so you can actually feel like the walls sort of reverberate nearby you, but because you're sort of in a separate room, it doesn't affect you. And
at which point Bob opens up, I think, right?
Oh yeah,
Bob orders to shoot if it moved.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, at that point, you hear a massive amount of gunfire and explosions go off, roars, that whole job coming from somewhere off in the darkness, and we will have to call it right there and see what happens as a result.
That's when we did a thing. We did something.
Okay, so that will do it. I don't think I have to make a note about how much forward progress was made. Not too much.
I'm sorry.
There we go.
But we'll leave it there. Okay. Good job, guys. That was episode 111 of the Halls of Arden Vul. You've been watching and are listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the notifications every time we publish new material. If you have a few extra bucks, really appreciate a Patreon subscription and get a few extra bennies, access to secret channels on our Discord server, which is otherwise free to access to everyone. Check out our publication, Feats of Exploration. And thank you, as always, to all of our patrons, our delvers, our explorers, and especially our conquerors. David has the distinct honor. Take it away, David.
Hey guys, as always, we appreciate you. Our conquerors are Robert Kenyon, great name. The Underdorks, Jeff Marino, Alan Barton,
Alexander Bays, Eric Tsunami MD. Let me bring my list closer to where I actually am. Okay. Samuel Dillon, Gregory Distelhorst, Yesterday's Glory, Mike Small, DMW71, Richard Barton, James Boyle, Steve BKK, Doc Jones 73, Jackson Bates, John Hooker, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear DM, Zach Shiflett, Mercy for AV 605, Ruben Collar, Pour One Out for Elizabeth, Procyon, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Stephen Casenberry, Brad Naden, John and La Logan, the Kabrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, excuse me, Tom Leary, Phil Nakanu, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando NZ, Faisal, Ted Gass, James Stoig, Nefarious Gamer, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, M. Mont, Michael Schilling, Stefano Di Maiolo, Ash Gabriel, Nobody Puts Kerbal Khan in the Corner, the Hex Brawler Twins, Iona, Han Yes Chef, Han Yes Chef Jort Pure, Joel Pierre, I don't know, Dandler, Summon Toast, Too Rude, Tuvi Ishvan, Dungeon Art Adam, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Dire Grew, Tom Eric Gerritsen, and now the Matts, Matthew Mattis, Matthew Walsh, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, and Matt Young. We appreciate you all so much. Thank you.
Yes, thanks indeed, everyone. We really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Enjoy your week. Take care. Bye now.
See you all. Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.